It happened in a flash. One moment, Joe James was the king of a concrete jungle. He ruled a slice of Los Angeles with an iron will and a reputation forged in fear. People called him dangerous. They were right. Then he saw a kid fall from a fire escape. An impulse he didn't recognize made him move. He caught the boy. The impact was final. Joe's world went black. His body was a ruin on the pavement, but his mind, that sharp, calculating instrument of power, did not stop. It jolted awake, trapped inside the unfamiliar flesh of a high school boy named Noah Wick. The shock was a physical blow. Joe's mind, accustomed to a body hardened by years of command, now inhabited a vessel of pain. He tasted old blood in his mouth. He saw the world through eyes that were used to looking down, to avoiding contact. This was Noah's life, a life lived in the shadows of his own home. Joe was in a cage, not steel bars, but neglect and quiet cruelty. The Wick house looked like a home, a nice one, manicured lawn, 2 cars in the driveway. It was a lie. For Noah, it was a crime scene. The crime was his childhood. Joe's mind, now Noah's mind, watched the family operate. They were a small, cruel unit. Mr. Wick called him helpful to friends, a word that sounded like an insult. The mother looked through him. She never used his name. The golden child, Lucas. Lucas got the applause, the new sports gear, the parties, the pats on the back. Noah was the family's secret. He worked 2 jobs to pay for his school supplies, his clothes, his existence. He kept his grades perfect. He did everything he was supposed to. He never complained. He tried to earn a place that was never offered. The Wicks took his money and called it his contribution. The cruelty wasn't just neglect. It was active. It was sharp. Lucas paid kids to rough Noah up. The father slapped Noah in front of friends, then laughed. Chloe mastered pretending. She saw the bruises. She heard the insults. She did nothing. Her silence was a weapon. Noah bought a new textbook with his money. The family accused him of stealing it. They didn't need proof, just someone to blame. Joe's new life began not with a roar, but with a whisper of defiance. He walked through the high school hallways in Noah's body. His posture was different. He didn't slouch. He didn't stare at the floor. His eyes met the gazes of others. He was a mafia don in a bullied boy's skin. He was observing a new territory, alliances, fears, unspoken laws. Joe was a quick study. He saw who held the power and why. He saw the lies everyone agreed to tell. When Lucas shoved him against a locker, he didn't cower. He didn't flinch. He just stood there, his eyes cold and level.
Don't do that again!
The voice was Noah's. The tone was Joe's. It wasn't a plea. It was a command. The usual script had been thrown out. When a kid paid by Lucas tried to corner him, Joe didn't fight him. He spoke to him. He knew the kid's father had a gambling problem. He mentioned a name, a place, a debt. The kid went pale and backed away. Joe hadn't made a threat. He shared a piece of information. He was bending the rules, using knowledge as a weapon. The whispers started. Who was this new Noah Wick? He answered questions with surprising confidence. He looked bullies in the eye until they looked away. He wasn't louder. He was clearer, more present. He was no longer a ghost. He was becoming a force. The climax wasn't a fistfight. It was an assembly, a stage. The Wick family had orchestrated it. They wanted to put Noah back in his box. He was to be publicly shamed, forced to apologize. The principal stood there, a pawn. The whole school was watching. They wanted Noah to kneel. They expected him to break. They had miscalculated. Joe walked onto that stage in Noah's body. He did not shuffle. He did not look down. He moved with deliberate confidence. He took the microphone. He didn't shout. He didn't cry. He simply spoke. The truth had been there all along. Bruises, receipts, reports, and it had never mattered. The truth was free. Believing it cost nothing, so it was worth nothing. Joe was here to change the price. He named the kids Lucas had paid and hinted what he knew. He spoke of the father's slap, calm, factual. He presented evidence and turned a shaming into a trial, and he was the prosecutor. The power in the room shifted. It felt like a drop in air pressure. Ignoring the truth now had a cost. Complicity in something ugly and public. The facts hadn't changed. The consequences had. Joe made the truth expensive, and suddenly, everyone was willing to pay for it. In the aftermath, they came to him. The Wicks. One by one, they crawled back, arrogance replaced by a desperate, hollow need. The father spoke of misunderstandings and offered a self-serving apology. The mother, who had looked through him for years, found late-blooming care. Lucas was sullen and defeated. They offered him things. A better room, a real allowance, a place at the table. They offered the love he had once begged for. But it wasn't love. It was a negotiation. They didn't want Noah, the boy. They wanted Noah, the power. Apologies for their reputation, not his pain. The final act wasn't revenge. Joe could have taken it. He had the power now. He could have made them pay for every bruise, every insult. The old Joe would have. But something had shifted. The memory of saving that child lingered. He felt Noah's quiet dignity. True power wasn't making others kneel. It was choosing to stand alone. He packed the few things that were truly his and took the money he'd earned. He didn't accept the father's apology. He didn't engage the mother's pleas. He turned his back on the house that was never a home.